Alright, YouTube. Fourth time I tried to make this video, so I'm hoping this is fourth time's a charm. Because the first time I was doing it outside, a bee was chasing me, then the second time, a bunch of kids started chasing me on their scooters. The third time I was like whispering into the camera and it just didn't sound right. Basically, I wanted to talk about juveniles and laws regarding juveniles, but nothing like juveniles committing heinous crimes like murder or robbery or something like that. But things like drugs and paraphernalia and stuff. So let me give you some backstory. It was my freshman year in high school. And essentially what happened was, you still have all your middle school friends, but there's a period for about a year when you guys split freshman year, cause you're trying to find your own networks and scenes to fit into, and I guess make high school more smoother because you know more people. And unfortunately, I was trying to get into the scene of people who just didn't give a fuck and drug users. And it's quite funny to me now. I'm the only one in high school, and I was actually arrested, which I'll get into shortly, and about over half those people dropped out. Now, I don't know if they ever got their GEDs or anything, but I know they dropped out. And I'm graduating tomorrow, but I don't know if this video is going to be posted till tomorrow. It's June 3rd, 2015 at 7:46 p.m. But that's just to tell you what the time is and when this video was originally filmed. But anyways, I was trying to make some new friends regardless of repercussions, so I started making rumors about myself that I was a magic mushroom farmer and a drug dealer. And I was 14 at the time. I know that's stupid, but understand that I was still an impressionable person at the time. None of this critical thinking stuff happened until after maybe midway or even after my sophomore year. And what had happened was, I was taking orders for magic mushrooms that I never was going to grow, and started giving money to these people to get me drugs. And on December 21st, 2011, I was just a little over a month of being 15. So I still had the mindset of a middle schooler at that point anyway, and I was barely just out of the age range of a middle schooler. But I even remember the time I was pretty much in dog shit. It was 2:10 p.m. Central Standard Time. My assistant principal and the resource officer had come into my last block class and requested me to come with them. And it wasn't like I kind of was addicted to painkillers, but kind of wasn't. If I kept doing it, I probably would have gotten hardcore addicted. So that's why I kind of say mildly addicted to opiates, because I wasn't like doing it every day, but I did them often. But what had happened was, I guess word got out, and that I was a drug dealer, and essentially I got taken to the security room after they took me out of the class, and they just started asking me a bunch of questions, and after a while of giving them some weird stories and stuff, I just spilt the beans, and I pulled out 7 hydrocodone out of my pants pocket and just dropped them on the table, because it was pretty much game over after that. And they were in the middle of taking custody away from me, or away from my parents, and giving it to themselves, which is a point I'm going to get into a little after this. I didn't go into juvenile hall. It was December 21st. It was a few days before Christmas. First time I had ever been mentioned in the law. And after processing me, they found out that I said I'm on it right now, so they freaked out, so they had to call poison control and all that, and I got an ambulance to the hospital, and I was there from about 3 to 10:30 at night. But after the initial incident, and my father still is very pissed off about this, because I was a kid. It was the first time I had ever really gotten in trouble for anything, and I was almost literally probably 10 minutes from going to juvenile hall. And I never went to jail. So that's good, I guess. But after that, I was pretty much barred from going anywhere unless my parents were present. And what started happening was I developed really bad paranoia, and I would have these episodes where I would just, and no, ironically I wasn't on any drugs at the time, but I would start hallucinating that gray aliens were coming to grab me out of my room and kill me, or abduct me, and I would never be seen again. I don't live too far from train tracks, and if you're by train tracks, you know that if you're a distance away, the engine just makes like a low humming pitch. I thought that was the invisible UFO above my house. I would look into the mirror, and for a split second, there'd be like a 2 foot, 2.5 foot tall gray figure behind my chair, looking like it was about to attack me. And then I saw instances where they would just run right past, and household decorations would morph into gray aliens, but they would appear brown because it was like the tone of the decoration, like the color. So one thing I blame the school for, and law enforcement for, something I felt I deserved some sort of compensation for, but I didn't, because I never brought it up in the court case, was that I pretty much suffered like borderline schizophrenia. I saw cars coming down the subdivision that weren't normal. I was always checking cars because, I thought the CIA would start watching me and stuff, right? Like, this is how crazy it got. And I had to constantly alternate routes and stuff because I was afraid they were coming to get me, and I think that has a lot to do with my tame nature now, because I've been on both the peaceful side and the carefree side and the intensely pessimistic, paranoid side, destructive side of the human mind. So I've, in my head, been to hell and back. And I have grievances with the U.S. way of treating kids that take drugs, and I think it's sinister and draconian in a way. Because these are like middle schoolers and people who've never really hit the shit in life, and I don't think these kids really deserve to get shit in their life because they wanted to take a drug. Now, maybe if you taught them, you made them go to like a mandatory seminar or something, yeah. But, I don't think they should be threatened with jail time for something like drugs. My dad brought this up a long time ago, and I'm just starting to realize he was right. Another thing that this has taken from me was a portion of my childhood. And I know for a lot of you guys, high school was like you were finding yourself, you were living a carefree life, you were still pretty immature. It didn't happen to me. As soon as that happened, I had to grow up real fucking fast. And it turned me into I felt like a bitter, callous old man inside of a young teen's body. And I've gotten over a lot of the callousness, but it's still there. I'm still trying to feel and get to a state where I feel normal and happy from this incident. Because I have a lot of grievances with it. And I was infuriated because at the same time kids were getting busted with weed or some weird synthetic chemical, and they were only getting suspended for it. And I know prescription painkillers is a different thing, but nonetheless, it's a drug, and I don't think I could have easily done more of it even if I was expelled from school that second semester. Under constant 24/7 in my room, and really never went outside because why bother? I was 15, it's not like I could have gone anywhere or any of that. I also lost contact with a lot of people, and then I lost a lot of people I thought were friends because I was roughed up from it, so I was a lot more calloused about it, about everything, and I was really snappy, and I had really bad trust issues and a bad temper that weren't really there when I hadn't been in this predicament. I was just an asshole, and I know I was an asshole, but do people really blame me? And I know what I did was wrong to a degree, but the courts kind of implied it was on the same level as, like, robbing or threatening to kill someone, something like that. The probation officers, I had one good one and one terrible one. And she basically stripped my right of free speech. She didn't take away my Facebook, but she's like, if you don't take down your Facebook profile within the next 2 days, because I was in marching band at the time, and if as many of you have been on probation now, you need a special, like, little permission slip to be able to leave the state that you have to have on you at all times. She said she would refuse to give me any. And they're supposed to be, like, counselors too, so I don't know why jeopardizing my band grade for having a Facebook account. It's really contradictory to their whole thing, trying to get people back on what the Western world perceives as the right track. But in essence, all this has taught me is a couple things. Kids are talking dogs. Essentially, kids have no rights. They're perceived to be dogs that can talk. My custody from my parents was put into the government in the matter of a click of a button. So I have basically, most of the society because of that one click of a button, I've taken as a joke. You're gonna tell me that you're my parents now because you clicked a stupid button on a computer engine because I broke one of your draconian laws. Are you fucking kidding me? It just still shakes me inside seeing that. He clicked a button on a computer mouse, and they were technically my parents at that point. The second thing is, Western values are a fucking joke. If you really cared about kids getting on the right track, you wouldn't be treating them like shit. You wouldn't be treating some drug offenses, someone being as terrible as, like, a robber or a murderer. Because they think, well, you're just destined to do that in the future anyway. Since you already broke one law, why not break more? So instead of punishing someone, which has been proven time and time again just to help someone be better at sneaking their activity, why not actually rehabilitate people? And thirdly, the protection of such draconian laws is only under the guise of protecting you. I'm sorry, but half the laws I don't take seriously, and it's gone to the point where they aren't my laws. I couldn't give a shit. Like, I guess you could say, you don't govern me, I govern me. I'm an individual. I don't need some dipshit writing a law who doesn't even know someone, doesn't even know the story. They just make this vague ass law that can be interpreted a jillion different ways, which fucked me over for a little bit. That's pretty much all I have to say about this. I'll probably break my computer screen if I talk anymore about it. So, peace out, YouTube. This video is probably going to be up tomorrow, but have a good day, have a good night, whatever.